All right, so today we have some really not nice stuff to go over. Let's plug it in so you can see. It actually looks a lot better right now than it will in 5 seconds when the camera turns on, because once the camera turns on, it's going to be, oh Jesus, dear God. This is not going to be fun. So before we get into the repair, I just wanted to touch on something. So a few weeks ago, I did this video on why you should boycott the CTIA conference. I talked about how it was how they actually did show up and lobby against the right to repair, and I talked about that at length. How they were lobbying against the right to repair in this video. You can go watch it. It's the boycott CTIA video that I did on March 5th, and I said that there were people that were going to CTIA not because they really liked CTIA, not because they thought it was a great event, not even because of their political views in terms of not supporting repair, but they are only going to CTIA to advertise their businesses and get in front of people. And these businesses are paying $5,000 to $15,000 a day for booths. It's insane. And I said that I would love to see companies in the independent repair community try to advertise through the independent repair community rather than paying money to people who are actively lobbying against the right to repair bill. And one of the people I called out in that video very politely was Troy of repairshopr. repairshopr is the CRM system that we use here to keep track of all the tickets. It's the system that allows me to see what the status of a ticket is when somebody calls. It's the system that syncs all my repairs in a QuickBooks. It's the system that keeps my inventory for everything that I use and sell. It's an amazing system. And he called me up, and he pretty much asked me if I would put my money where my mouth is. So rather than give money to CTIA, would companies like us or iPad Rehab want to sponsor and talk about their products? And so I link below. So there's a link below where you can try signing up for repairshopr. A lot of people here ask what CRM system I use, and I put a link there. I also put another link that shows you how you can integrate repairshopr with your own PBX, so that it's really cool. Like if you have let's say you have a status saying board done but waiting for cleaning, to clean it in the ultrasonic to get the flux off, you can actually make that a custom status in repairshopr, and then you could set up your phone system so that it calls repairshopr, so that as soon as you get a phone call, your phone will say almost done, just waiting cleaning. So before you even pick up the phone, you know what the status is for your customer. So rather than having to say, give me 1 second, let me look you up and wait a minute, you can say, hey, Sarah, well, you can come by in about an hour. We just got to clean the flux off your board. And you're like, how do you know? And it's like, because I'm working on your stuff. So even if you have no idea what's going on with the ticket, it helps you to look like you care and look like you're smarter than you are. And for the past 4 years, I've been torturing Troy at repairshopr. This is one reason I'm okay sponsoring this product, because I actually have been using it. I gave him a list of shit that I wanted done, like QuickBooks integration, PBX integration, custom statuses, and every other piece of software that every company I had spoken to at the time is like, either no, just outright no, we're not doing all this shit, or maybe, and they never do it. Troy has, again, most of this was trolling on my part. I never thought that software at this price would integrate QuickBooks, PBX, inventory, all that stuff. He actually implemented it. This is sometime in the middle of 2013. So, shout out for being a very, very, very good sport with a lot of annoying people like myself. And yeah, if he's willing to back out of going to CTIA and rather advertise with people that use his products like Jessa and I, then I'm all for it. So I've said that I wouldn't sponsor stuff in the past, but again, he is asking me to put my money where my mouth is. I did say it, and you should check it out. So if you want to check out our CRM software, look below. That being said, let's go. Oh my God. Okay, so can anybody guess why we don't have a picture here? So before I get into explaining why we don't have a picture, can any one of you tell me why we don't have a picture? This is an 820-2936 board. Yes, that is a 3115 connector on it if Duke is watching. Yes, I have sinned, and I will not visit your confession booth. But check out. So tell me why this doesn't have a picture. I'll give you time to look up the schematic. I'll give you time to look up everything. And we go from there. I'm not reading that Helen Angelin book ever again. So no, I'm not reading it. Wow, a lot of you are asking if I'm going to read more Fascinating Womanhood, and I'm not reading Fascinating Womanhood. I will never read Fascinating Womanhood again. Just no, absolutely not. That was torture, and no more. Never again. I'll give it a minute. Let's see if one of you can tell me why. And by the way, that link for the repairshopr thing, you can start off with a free trial, so you don't have to pay straight out the gate. I know I abused my free trial before I gave Troy any money. Crooked pins in the connector. That's not it. How much were you paid to read that book? I did get a $5 donation and a burrito, which was somewhat fair compensation, I would say. I mean, realistically speaking, it really should be Jessa that paid for that reading, since she was the one that sent that book and requested that we read it. Which was, in my opinion, incredibly mean. That's... Okay, let's see if I have any right answers yet in the chat. The big chip in the middle seems to have corroded legs. That's Firewire. What's your opinion of my boss who takes people's money to stick a board in an oven? My first impression is scumbag. Scumbag is my first impression. Okay, so let's go over this. We're going to open up a schematic for the 820-2936. So let's open up schematic for 820-2936. And let's open up the board view as well. So I'm going to get the schematic and board view, and we're going to go over why it is we have no picture. And I'm also going to try to show you in the other camera angle how we can intermittently get picture, which is pretty cool. All right. Almost there. Almost there. All right, here we go. So. Okay, so this is what is going to send power to the LCD. LCD, power enable, over here. This is going to take the 3.3 volts that's going into input, and then it's going to shoot it out. So this is a switch that when you have voltage on the on pin, will turn the chip on and allow V in to go to V out. That will then allow the 3.3 volts to go to this, which is pretty much... This is going to be used as a fuse, but also as an inductor at the same time. So it's a fuse in terms of if there is something wrong with the connector with the screen, it'll blow. And it's also used to keep the power from the screen power from being sucked up too quickly. The screen is going to use a decent amount of power, and you don't want to burn out this chip by asking for it too quickly. So the inductor is going to slow the flow of the initial turn on so that the screen doesn't burn out that chip. Now, this is on over here, pin 1 of U9000. So let's find U9000 over here. Pin 1. Do we have a picture or just no backlight? We have blinking. So this is LCD power enable, right over here. LCD IG power enable. And if we were to look on the board over here, you'll see that this signal comes from here. So let's try to draw this while we're looking at it on the board view. So it's going to come from here, go up to here, and also go to this resistor, which is then going to ground. See? Now watch what... Now I'm going to turn this on, and we're probably not going to have a picture. So we're going to do this, and I'm going to show you it from another angle. This is going to be the fun part of having multiple cameras. All right, so... Turn me off, turn that on, and move this shit around. So I got to move myself around a little too, I guess. I'm going to try turning it on, and you're going to see that it doesn't work. It probably will work just because I'm trying to show it to you. Watch with my luck. Yeah, go fucking figure. All right, see? Now it's working. Only because I tried to show it to you. Okay, so what was happening before... Go fuck. What was happening before was simple. If you touch this at all, it dies. Like, I started digging over here. As you can see, it turned off. All right, so let's say I get my multimeter where you can see it over here. Let's turn the multimeter on. So it was blinking on and off. Before it was totally off. So what we have to do is find that LCD IG power enable signal that is being held on by a hair. See, I'm getting 3.2 volts, but it turned itself off because it blinked as soon as this part got touched. So, and that signal is going on and off and disappearing, and it's also not really making its way to the chip the way it's supposed to. So we're going to remove that chip and dig a little bit, and I'm also going to try to not fuck up any of the handiwork that's going on over here, because if I fuck that up, then I have to redo it. This is a... All right. I started digging before I'd started the video. Why did I start digging? Yeah, so this digging was me. Before, it wasn't blinking, it was doing nothing. So what I first started doing over here is started digging through the board to get to the copper, and then I'm going to try to solder the copper directly to this thing, and hopefully that will end the blinking. Is that a multimeter from Dave Jones? Yes, it is. Dave sent me a multimeter. Dave is awesome. Dave sent me a multimeter. That was very nice. Definitely two components out of place. Yep. Yeah, this board is not exactly the prettiest. This board isn't the belle of the ball, as they would say. Okay, this is not what we should start with. Should I start with this iron? What do you guys think? What do you think? Is this the way to fix the board? Yeah, okay. The first thing to do, change tips. Someone says this is worse than Iraqi market after truck bomb. Funny, this is the only channel I get live streams from in almost every day. Getting annoying. I would suggest you unsubscribe. If you unsubscribe, you will never see them again. The whole point of being subscribed is that you get notifications for content that you want to see. If you don't want to see it, unsubscribe. For example, I'm not subscribed to Hillary Clinton's YouTube channel because I don't want to see videos from Hillary Clinton. If I were, I would probably be quite mad and rage. There is a button, and if you click it, it goes both ways. Let's see. I bet you could resolder the whole LCD connector at once with that shovel tip. Possibly. Okay. So the idea here is not to knock over any of this delicate shit. I'm just going to assume that U9000 is not to be trusted for obvious reasons. I really don't get that. Like, I hate this stuff. That's fine. But, like, why do you subscribe to shit you don't want to watch? Why? What in God's name compels you to subscribe to shit that you don't want to see? That just sounds so dumb. Did you get the 230 volt working? No, I'm still stealing the air conditioner one. First thing I got to do is find some good GPUs again. I did a bunch of 9000s, and the 9000s are working beautifully. 9000s are great. Have I said how much I like the 9000 GPUs that I got that melt at 235 Celsius? Those are great. The ones I got that melt at fucking 180, 190 Celsius with hot air. Because that's the thing, if the hot air station is shooting out 185 and it melts at that, that means the board is like 165, which means that those GPUs that I got were soldered with chip quick. I like the GPUs that were not soldered together with chip quick. I don't approve of that. Why do you work on Apple products when you don't like them? Why do oncologists work on cancer? Do oncologists like cancer? Do oncologists want to get cancer? Do doctors that work on tuberculosis want to get tuberculosis? Do they like tuberculosis? Since when do you have to like it to work on it? Like, did the people that worked on 9/11 in the World Trade Center, did the people that worked in cleaning up the rubble, like, do they like rubble and smoke and fumes? And no, that's like that's such a silly argument. That is such a silly argument. Well, that was one of the questions I was going to answer with the supply company. I'm pretty sure it is. You could tell me what the difference between A and EV and CV is before you know what time comes. That's what I'm going to try to do, is I'm going to try to connect all these points with this wire to strengthen it so that it doesn't blink anymore. Because this thing is so broken. Northside Service Company says $5, 2 for Lewis to buy a copy of Green Eggs and Ham so he can read it to us on live stream. Thank you. What's the other $3 for? This would probably be better done if I use the micro tip, but by the time I get around to it, I might, putting that tip on, I'll probably be done. All right. Max says, why do you absolutely hate Apple products? I've seen your videos and they are confusing to me. I am 14, but why? I wouldn't say it's hate for the product. I would say I dislike the way that they don't support their users, really. I don't like the fact that they make a lot of stuff that's very, very expensive, that's very prone to breaking. I don't like that when they don't work, that rather than take accountability for it, they blame the user. Like, it's not our fault for the Touch IC problem. You must be using the phone wrong. It's not our fault that the iPhone 4 has poor service. You're holding it wrong. It's not our fault the 2011 GPU happened. You're overusing it. There's always some excuse that takes responsibility and accountability away from them and places it on the user, which is totally unfair, because they sell a very, very expensive product under the guise of quality, and right after they get this very, very loyal user base, because with other products you don't have such ridiculous loyalty, but they have this ridiculous loyalty from the user base that you don't find with any other brand, and rather than appreciate that, they shit on the user. And I think that's a really shitty thing to do. If you have a product that garners you this great loyalty amongst your users, you should appreciate that, especially if you're using that loyalty to charge them 2 or 3 or 4 times what you would spend at somebody else to get similar products. It's not nice, you know. I mean, I know that you're not in business to be nice, but if you are in business to sell yourself as a higher quality brand, and you do all this stuff to garner this customer loyalty, all I'm saying is don't fuck them over once you got the loyalty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you expect that shit, and then people say you don't say that about HP or Toshiba or Acer, but those brands are all fucking garbage, you know. I mean, yeah, when you buy something for $300, you're not buying, you know, you're telling them that this is a piece of shit, pretty much. Like when you buy a $279 Toshiba at Best Buy, when you buy a $100 or $50 Android phone, I mean, you're buying a piece of shit, you know. I mean, they're saying up front with the price, like that price means you're buying shit. If something goes wrong with it, I don't give a fuck, because I only charged you $50 or $279 for a laptop. But when they spend so much money, and when they charge so much money for it, they're saying that this is a premium product. And at that point, you would kind of expect to get a premium product. Or why did you destroy the Motorola? I destroyed the Motorola when I was running and fell. And then it started rebooting randomly, so then I decided, since I couldn't use it anymore and I had no warranty because I destroyed it, that I might as well use it for a video. Alright, so this is a little bit more of a complete jumper, and I'm going to hope that this serves me well. And let's just get rid of that solder blob over there. Lewis, I've been participating in the Bad Caps forum lately and got into an argument with someone as to whether the 1.8 volt rail drives vCore or RAM. Oh, there's a lot of people on that forum that hate me. Oh, man. Because the thing is, I don't even find this stuff. It's like I just get links to it. Once the user base got above 14,000 subscribers, people would start sending me links anytime my name was mentioned somewhere else and go, what do you think? And half of them I don't respond to. Some of them I do. Yeah. Yeah, there's a good amount of... I'm never going to forget some like 9-page thread on EV blog on how I use too much flux and he's an asshole and blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah. I tend to avoid most forums. All right, so that's nice and pushed down. And check it out. Now I've got that nice thick jumper over there going to that and it's thick in this area. You can see that the solder is thick in that area because I want it to be. Because I scratched away the copper of the board, and just to make sure there's a nice even connection, I've got the wire going the duration of it. Sweet. So this should be good to go. And good to, well, good for something. All right, so let's see if it blinks or if it doesn't blink anymore. Hopefully it doesn't blink anymore. Hopefully I get some signups for Repair Shop, or I can't get beat by Jessa. It's so funny. I told her that because I've been every now and then we'll argue feminist type of stuff, and well, I mean, most of you know what my opinion is on that stuff. But I remember Jessa did that video with Vice, and we were having talks about wage gap and this, that, and the other. And they offered me $1,500 an episode. So I told Jessa, what are you getting paid to do that episode with Vice? And she goes, nothing. I'm like, what? He goes, oh, no, they're probably not making a lot. They're just doing it to create awareness. And I said, there's a Toyota ad. Like, there's the YouTube ads, there's the affiliates, and then after that, there's a Toyota ad baked in 1 minute into your video. Like, you're helping sell Toyotas. You need to get paid for that. So then she has this picture of herself wearing a Repair Shopper t-shirt on stream. She's taking part in Repair Shopper Taco Tuesday. I'm like, what are you getting paid for that? $0. And it's like, oh, yeah, I just talked to him about a sponsorship deal. And she's like, man, you never wore a Repair Shopper t-shirt. So, yeah, I kind of created that. And so she contacted him and actually beat me to providing a link. But can't let grandma win, man. Can't let grandma win. All right, so let's see if it turns on now. Give me a All right, let's go back to the crotch cam. And now I'm going to do the same thing I did before, which is I'm going to fiddle and fuck with that area, and we're going to see if it turns off. If it fiddles and turns off, then I give up because you saw the same board that I saw, and there's only so much I'm willing to try. All right, so let's see. Microscope. Crotch cam. What? No, wrong one. Crotch cam. All right. This is. So as you can see, we got an Apple logo. Gonna pull the microscope out, and I'm gonna touch around that area, and we're gonna see if it works, or if it turns off because the connection is weak. So I should be able to bat around that area a good amount and not have anything fall apart, hypothetically speaking. So let's see if the light goes away. All right, now let's get something that doesn't conduct electricity. See, we're good. Finally, a repair that actually works. All right. Imagine that. You fixed something and it actually worked. All right, time to give this to Yeah. And to move on to the next one in a sec. Next. Another old one. Boo. Old boards suck because people who send in old boards usually leave terrible reviews, as is evidenced on Yelp recently. You know what the funny thing is? By the way, this is an 820-2610 board. Can any of you tell me what the problem is going to be? 820-2610 doesn't turn on. You guys should all know what this is by now. Guys and girls, don't want to be unfair here. You should... It's funny, because 99% of the time that we get this board, like 99%, it's one specific problem. And for this one just complete lying scumbag of a human being, it wound up being a dead CPU and everything else was fucked. And it's kind of like karma. Like it's one of these karmatic things where it's like, if you were a decent person, it would have just been the thing that it is for everybody else. But since you're not a decent person, it wound up being fucked in 6 ways to Sunday. Elsewise, but let's see what chat says. Let's see if you know what it is already before we even get into it. Astrality says Sec20. If you don't like Lewis, unsubscribe, biatch. Now I have to look up what SEK is. What is SEK? SEK to USD. That's a Swedish krona. Ooh, that's $2.27. I can get a Gatorade with that. Thank you. How much cash from the super chat do you get? I don't know. That's one of the things I should ask Google. I mean, I sincerely doubt I have control over it, but I should ask. I'm not sure. That's a Gatorade. That is fine. Let's see. Expensive stuff needs to come with great support. I agree. I 110% agree. Lewis, you have the exposure such that you can say Apple does stupid shit, but for a lot of repair not official, we have to tell every customer Apple is great. But why is that true? I've been saying this since I started doing this in 2008. The thing that happened that kind of made me laugh is when customers would walk in, and they would have an issue that was not fixable on a $3,000 device that wouldn't be covered under a program that Apple should cover it under. And rather than complain, rather than like say, I'm not buying this again, they would go out and buy another $3,000 Apple thing. And that really I never understood. Like whether it's a brand I like Motorola or Lenovo, or brands I don't like, particularly like Apple. Or if you get screwed over by a company, the best thing you can do is not give that company another $3,000. And what's always killed me with the Apple stuff is that they would repeatedly do it. So for me, it's not something that I ever had to say. It's like they knew. The customer knew. Because You know, they knew how they got treated. It's not like I have to point it out. All right. What's RepairShopr giving you other than a very good CRM? Lots of burritos, MobiFix. Technically, 0. I gave them a price, and I said if I can't get a certain amount of people to sign up, I will not send you a bill. So we'll see. We'll see. Performance-based sponsorships based on the honor system. What's the best soldering ball size for iPhone ICs? Is that 0.25 millimeter balls?
Huh? Say what?
iPhone BGA chips, what are the ball size? Like 0.25 millimeter?
Some of them are 0.25, some of them are 0.2, some of them 0.3.
Oh, God. Wait, 0.2, directly 0.2. Okay, so 0.2 to 0.3. Damn, that's tiny. Damn, that's small. I want to see the ultrasonic cleaner in action. You'll see that on our ASMR channel someday. Let's see. You really want to see the ultrasonic cleaner? I'll show you the ultrasonic cleaner. Okay, you want to see how the water looks? All right. Before we get to the board, yeah. All right, so this is an ultrasonic cleaner. This is the water on the inside of the ultrasonic cleaner. Seen better days. And this is what it looks like when you turn it on. You can't see it when this board's inside there because you can see all the little bubbles? All those little bubbles? But that's what does the cleaning. So put the board, are you going to ultrasonic that? Oh, correct. Yeah, so that's what the Crest does. And by the way, we actually have some for sale. I know it's very surprising to most of you who probably know people that waited like a month to get an order, but through hook or by crook, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, what's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we have so we have 7 of those CP500Ds in here. And God knows if we're ever going to get in more. Because fuck if you ever know when communicating with that company. Alright. So let's put my camera back on. Camera back on. Aha. There we go. Clicks. So that's what an ultrasonic cleaner looks like. Have you ever gotten a board you can't repair? Many of them. And when we can't fix them, even if we don't charge the customer money, they leave a 1-star review anyway. Yep. Muted? I'm not muted. Lies. SMC, GPU, it's the C7771. Very good. So let's go over what's going to be wrong with this board. Since this person is a nice person, so I'm pretty sure since they're nice, not a jackass like the you-know-who that left the you-know-what, I'm pretty sure that this is going to be just a capacitor. So we're going to go over what power circuit is wrong and how we fix it in a second. So first thing I want to do is just confirm that that is the correct diagnosis here. And it is not. Oh, that's lame. How the hell is this actually giving 1.106 volts? Oh man, we're going to have to think a little bit. This is the C7771 board, but that is not the issue with it. Ooh. Oh boy. I grabbed one that's going to require thinking. Oh no. Oh no. You're going to find out that I don't have a brain after all. MobiFix says that's not true. I've yet to recommend an Apple product to anyone, and that's 95% of what we fix. Yeah. Where are the Walker and Cane links? Yeah, Jessa got enough canes, I think. What would you do if a coworker who outranks you says something completely ridiculous to a customer and you know will yell at you for interrupting them? Are you the same person that asked, what do you think if your boss put stuff in an oven? Like, just fucking quit, man. What the hell are you doing at that place? Just leave. Like, leave. Why are you working at such a shitty company? Stop working at this shitty company. Rossmann Repair ASMR, the only ASMR that leaves your ears bleeding with serenity when the video is done. So this board is very dirty. It's not necessarily corrosion from liquid, it's just nasty. This looks like maybe somebody who smokes or has a pet and smokes. So it's going to be hard to tell liquid damage and corrosion from actual flaws. But over here, ooh, I think I see something. Is there continuity over here? Yeah, so see, now the brown stuff is dirt, but where you can see that this cap is a shiny silver and that cap is not a shiny silver, that is how you know that there was some corrosion over there. And then you can see that, yeah, this leading to that just doesn't look like something that has continuity to me. Your mic was distorted while activating that thing. Yep. Lewis, I heard you writing a book about jailbreaking iPhones. Sonny? Yep. I'm debating whether or not to post that call. I got the stupidest call that you could ever imagine from this book publishing company. And I learned my lesson, because like with Vice, I was so nice to those people. I was as nice as could be until the moment that they realized they were just wasting my time. With this one, I was just straight to the point. Like they wanted me to write a book about jailbreaking iPhones and direct it at the target market of pretty much the elderly and people who were out of touch with computing. Which I thought was fucking ridiculous, and I explained why. Like, you're gonna write a book that takes months to release, that, with a little guide on how to jailbreak a phone that's gonna change in a month. I'm debating whether or not to release that phone call. Jessa thinks it's mean. Even by my standards, many people think that would be mean. But the thing is, I don't think it would be as mean as it would be funny, which is why I'm conflicted. What are you looking for that we don't have?
All our 3330s are such shit.
Yeah. What do you need?
I need the USB filters.
Oh. Oh yeah. You can use the 2915 USB filter.
No, that means I have to look up where it is though.
I think it's in the same place.
It's not.
Oh. Yeah, I know I've used all the 3330 USB filters for. Is USB necessary? Oh wait, no. FireWire is the one that's not necessary. USB, you can't. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. Right, so let's see if this thing turns on. I'm gonna hook up a fan, and I just want to see at what point in the boot up do we get. That's my fan over here. How many board wash between fluid change? Until it's nasty. Can you fill the cleaner with cooking oil and cook French fries in it? That I don't think would work. So this does actually turn on. So this begs the question of why is this here? And since this was, this does beg the question of why are you here? I'm guessing that you have no CPU vCore or no chiming. And you can see a lot of stuff around here is nasty. So what I want to do is I want to see if I actually have CPU vCore. Because what I'm going to say is if we don't have CPU vCore, let's go full steam ahead. But if we do have CPU vCore, then the issue with this is most likely going to be that the CPU got a spike of 12 volts, since this is for the CPU. And after the CPU got a spike of 12 volts, it said GTFO, goodbye. So let's check out on an 820-2610 where CPU vCore is going to be. And let's get ourselves another 1-star review by charging a customer $0 when we can't fix their 8-year-old piece of junk. So let's find 820-2610. And let's find CPU vCore. So CPU vCore is going to be PP vCore, SO, CPU. And I should be able to measure that on any one of those coils on the other side. Great. All right, so let's see what I get. We're going to just pop it on for a quick second. And really quickly measure on one of those coils and see what we get. Do we get CPU vCore? Because if we don't, we have a fight. If we do, then that just means... Okay, great. We have no CPU vCore. So it does turn on, but the CPU does not turn on, which means that we have... This is a fight that's actually worth fighting. You understand? If we had CPU vCore, that would mean the CPU is getting power, but it's not working, which means that it's an 8-year-old water-damaged CPU, and it belongs in the trash. If it doesn't have V-core, then there's a chance the CPU did not ever get 12 volts, rather than it getting a spike of 12 volts and going back to 1, that the way that this died was CPU V-core just went off. So do I have a 2610 that's actually in condition that I can take the stuff from? This is not going to be fun. Let's see. 2610. Do we have a board from 8 years ago? Damn. Holy moly. Wow. We do. Well, I'll be fucking damned, man. All right. Whoa. And does it have CPU V-core stuff on it? Okay, this is a little less toasty looking than mine. I'll take it. Oh, thank you. All right. So first thing to do is let's open up the schematic and check out the V-core circuit for CPU here. Ultrasonic cleaner may damage chip or no? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Unpopular politics gives 8.01 euros. Thank you. Apparently this is the cost of a single small bottle of Fireball. That fan needs cleaning. That's my Hess fan. I never clean that. No. I will never clean that fan. That's my... That's... Louis, you remind me of a New Yorker patient in Dr. Katz, professional therapist. Huh. I'll have to read that. So what do we want to do? We could either replace all the components that look nasty, which is step one, or we could, rather than do that, we could actually think and use our brain to figure out which component is bad. Since there is corrosion, what I would usually do is I would go through and not use my brain, because using brain is hard. Using brain requires work and effort and... Let's see. So where is CPU? So I don't want to think today. All right. So this is U7100. U7100 is going to be CPU V-core. Am I a smart cookie or am I a smart cookie? All right. So this is a buck converter. This is going to create these two phases of CPU V-core. If you don't know what a buck converter is, watch my videos on what a buck converter is, and you'll find out. Long story short, these are transistors, which allow power to go through only when they're turned on. This over here, so this point and this point is going to be where this chip says, hey, fucker, turn on. So every time U7100 tells these two to turn on, they're going to let a spike of 12 volts through. But that hurts. Ow, 12 volts, you're hurting me. So what this inductor does, and the capacitor is on output, is it evens it out. So rather than turn on 12-0, 12-0, which is going to hurt the poor little CPU, it's going to smooth it out into an average of like 1 volt, somewhere around there for CPU V-core. But this controller is not telling these to do any switching or turning on, most likely due to water. So let's look at and find the components that are the most nasty here, shall we? So the parts that look the nastiest to me, I would say, is this capacitor over here at C7130. See this? So this over here is equal to this, and it's traced to the chip, even though that measures fine. And then there's this resistor over here, which is just disgusting. See this resistor over here? This looks like a complete piece of shit. And this is the one that I'm really more likely to blame for any of our problems. So that's this. That's R7120. Now let's look up what R7120 is for. R7120 is a 10 ohm resistor that sits between the power line for the chip and the chip itself. So this resistor is 10 ohms. So if this resistor is blown, then the chip that's going to create CPU V-core will not be getting any power because the resistor is blown. So think of that resistor like a fuse to make it simple on you. So I'm going to put my multimeter here into ohms mode. This is ohms. So this is my multimeter camera, which if I don't adjust it, will very quickly become a dick camera. And hell, if I'm giving the 4chan trolls that satisfaction. So we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And I'll set the white balance on this later, because everything in this camera seems a little blue. But, oh well. What are you going to do? You don't come here for the quality of... Certainly nobody comes here for the quality videography at this point. So let's go F4 and measure. So we're supposed to be getting 10 ohms there. That's a bad habit that I have where I put that into auto range. I shouldn't do that, but I did. And as you can see, we get 11 ohms. You fucker. So it's exactly what it's... Oh, close to exactly what it's supposed to be. Yeah, at this point over here looks a little burned. So I'm going to... Yeah, that actually looks quite burned. So perhaps what's supposed to be going to the resistor is not getting to that resistor. Huh. I wonder what voltage I'm getting over there. I wonder what I'm supposed to get over there. Let's switch back over to the screen capture, shall we? So over here I'm supposed to be getting PP bus, CPU, IMVP, iSense. What the fuck is that? Let's see what that is. So I don't know what that is. Like I need a number. So over here, when I search for that rail in the schematic, it says voltage 6 volts. So let's see if I'm getting 6 volts over there. It's probably going to be something closer to 8. That's probably Apple being dumb in their own schematic and not writing it properly. But there's only one way to find out, which is by turning it on. So let's turn it on and see what voltage it is that I get at that point, that resistor. Or let's just simply plug it in, because I think that should actually be present almost all the time. Could be wrong, but I think that's one of those voltage rails that's going to be on all the time since it comes from PP bus G3 hot. So let's take a look. Liking this angle for the multimeter. And we get 8.4 volts. And on the other side of it, we get 8.4 volts. So as nasty as that resistor looks, it is not my problem. Sucks. I would really like to blame it, because it looks so bad. As Trump would say, so bad, so sad. Such a bad little resistor. But that's not the problem. Let's continue looking. And there's quite a bit of nastiness over here. Now we can also take our attention to the nastiness on the other side. I kind of feel like this is something, though. Where is this supposed to go? So this is supposed to attach to those two, but does this go anywhere to the other side of the board? Because this doesn't look nice either. Yeah, that's supposed to go to the other side of the board to here. And what do you think the chances are it's actually getting there? I don't think that's making it there at all. Yeah, so that's something I may want to. Yeah, let's figure that out right now. Is that actually making its way? Because I don't think it is. I don't think it is one bit. All right, so this is... stop that. So this is obviously making its way to here. But is that making its way all the way over to the other side of the board? This is the sucky part where you got to hold the board like this. I hate this shit. I suck at this part. All right, so... Aha, ka-ching. I don't even need to... Yeah, do I really need to measure this? With my luck, I probably do. All right, so that's supposed to go over here. And even though that's nasty and corroded, watch with my luck, that'll actually work. All right, so this is not fun part. This part sucks. Fuck, I moved it. Make sure I'm touching the right thing. I'm pretty sure it's making a good connection, but... Fuck. Damn it! All my theories are getting blown to the ground here. Just physically looking it over is not going to suffice much. Because as nasty as this section looks, it's actually it's mostly doing its job. All right. Sadly. So I may have to actually turn on my brain. Oh, that's going to suck. I hate turning on the brain. Turning on the brain means work. Who wants to work on a Friday night? R7188. So that's R7188. Maybe that nasty looking resistor is something. So that's supposed to be a 0 ohm resistor. And it's probably going to be 0 ohms with my luck today. What do you think? 0 ohms? Piece of shit resistor? You motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much way around thinking. Yeah, we're going to have to think our way out of this one. Ooh, that sucks. Oh, thinking is terrible. I don't want to use my brain. I want to get an empanada and go home. All right. So, what I would be inclined to do here is just at the very least replace the corroded looking crap. Just because I can't leave that on there anyway. I'm going to have to replace it even if I do fix it. But before we go to that point... Actually, wait a second. What's going on this side of the ship? Whoa. You know what? Let's just start by replacing this stuff before we get to brain usage. It is close to the end of the day and I'm about tanked out on brain usage. So... I do not plan to finish the book I started yesterday for the person who asked. So we get the hot air station going, wait for it to heat up. Someone says, Lewis, what do you charge for this board? I see them going on eBay secondhand for 100 something. For 150 bucks. Say what? Say what? Show me. 399, 359. That's broken. 399, 369, 375, 399, 429, 659. This is a repair service, and look at the high rating that got. That is a repair service. That is a 399. Yeah. No. Next. And all those boards have the original C7771. So right after you buy them, they'll die. Do keep in mind, those boards all have the original C7771. So they may work right now, but fuck if they're going to work a month from now. You can set your watch by C7771's failure. Okay, I'm going to take you off. Take you off as a precaution since you were on the same line. I'm going to take you off since you look like shit. I'm going to take you off since you look like shit. And let's go. Also, do you guys notice anything about this Apple board that you'll never see on an Apple board for the rest of your life? I'll wait to see if any of you guys get it before I point it out. Yeah, look at this. So on the corner, they actually have a little line. See that? So that you can see, so that you know where to place your chip. And they also have names and numbers for the chips. I know, it's fucking insane. You would never expect to see this on an Apple product. Never. But you see it here. On this Apple product. So these little corroded points, I'm going to try and scrape off the corrosion and get it sucked up onto the soldering iron in a big ball of solder after putting some flux there. I'm going to do that for all the points that look like that. There we go. Thank you, Chris Long, for the wick, by the way. Da, 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 da. Da-da-da-da. What do you think of Dell Latitude laptops? I haven't owned one. I haven't seen a Dell Latitude since the D620, so I have no idea. The D620 had the superior track point interface, which made it acceptable. Best alternative to Branson EC? I have no idea. Huh? Drano? No. Jason says Drano. He provides tech support to anybody that used Drano on their... Yeah. Come on. Oh well. I'll fix the pins I bridged later. Let's also get these, because these are going to the other side of the board. Most likely. Come on, give me more light than that. Give me more light than that. There we go. Need some more light. All those points that look like they're fucked, I'm gonna fill them up. Have a very small ground plane, for obvious reasons. Lewis, have you worked on game systems? Not in like 18 years or so. That was another life. Okay, we're going to take a chip off of a donor. Let's see, which donor looks less nasty? I'll go with this one. Lewis, I bought the flux from your website. So far, the best smelling, kind of fruity. Don't sniff it. Get a fume extractor. Don't sniff it. No sniffing of the flux. No sniffing of the flux. Hey, Chris. Yes, that is your wick. This is good stuff. Chris says, I hear repairshopr is the best. What do you think? I will give my biased opinion that it is. Just trying to find something that actually synced to QuickBooks was a nightmare. Because I like as soon as I started paying for something again that was new, there was no way in hell that I was going to go back to like having to submit shit to QuickBooks. What I like is like I have my items arranged right now where if somebody orders a mail-in service, I have my setup where my invoicing is a mail-in item. You know, that service will be called mail-in whatever, mail-in logic board repair, whereas if it's local, it'll just be, it won't say mail-in, and it'll go to a different item code in QuickBooks. So I can see at the end of the month how much of my service was mail-in versus walk-in, and easily in QuickBooks I can see how much of it was board repair versus screen repair versus other services. It's good stuff. Much better than just taking gross sales and putting it into there to come tax time. Okay, we should be just about aligned at that point, but it's not pushed down. So what I'm going to do in a second is I'm going to add a little bit of flux and push that down onto the board. So it's aligned. Now that it's aligned, I have the comfort of being able to push. And know that it's Called that shit, give me a shout out. Shout out to Lufiron. Lufiron. Lufarian? Ever go down so deep in a rabbit hole it's taking you days to realize you can't do anything? Yeah, but I've tried to shy away from that. Like, my goal is to have so much work to do that if something's a rabbit hole, I can justify moving on to the next one. My goal is not to have so little work that I actually have the time to spend 2 or 4 days on one piece of shit. And you're going to have less knowledge that way. I accept that that philosophy means I'm going to learn less on average because I spend less time troubleshooting. But I kind of feel like there's diminishing returns between having some semblance of a healthy life. And I'd really rather have the healthy life than because I figured out a lot of stuff, and to get that extra 10% of knowledge, it's going to require destroying every other aspect of my life, and I don't really want to do that. So I don't do that as much anymore. I have a list of shit I check for, and if it's not X, Y, or Z, it goes in the bin. Because I know that my X, Y, or Z is far more than what most other people are going to be checking. Ah, shit. Alright, now for the other side. Be careful on this side, because there's a CPU there that we don't want to burn, because it's been getting burned for the past 8 years every time they turned it on. So much dirty shit. Should I leave some of it, or should I just scrap all of it and start from scratch? The right thing to do would just be to, windshield wiper. Alright, we're going to windshield wiper this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Too much of this is liquid. What? Starting from scratch. We're cleaning. Make some of those points that are a little rusted great again. Let's make you great again. Let's make you great again. Hey, there's a resistor in there that I didn't even see. Imagine that. And hey, this point looks like it was a little broken off. Let's see. See this thing over here? Imagine if that was the only problem all along. Oh well. The right thing to do is to replace this shit anyway. So let's scrape. And I'm going to have to see where that goes to, because that is a fucked up looking pad. Glad I removed everything so I could see that. Right. Squeaky clean. Okay, now that we got a nice clean working surface, we can drown it in flux and go from there. How do I repair my A1181? It says battery broken. No comment. I'm going to give you 3 guesses. You only get 3 guesses. Did you make an affiliate link for that thing yet? No. What? Remind me what you're talking about, because my head is killing me and I've probably forgotten. Lewis, stop what you're doing and break out a book from the 16th century and start reading it aloud. We'll save that for another day. Okay. This is going to be a while. One component. All right, let's move this. Let me move my desk around a little to make this more comfortable. This junk I have here. I don't need the multimeter right now. You can get out of the way. Like my mouse to scroll through chat. Need my board. Need my tweezers. Now there's one resistor that appears to be missing from both of these boards, so I'm going to have to look up what it is later. That's not good. This one over here, so you guys remind me that I have to look up what that resistor is. Now, if you see that I soldered something and it doesn't flow into place, it's all going to flow into place later. I just kind of want to minimize the amount of heat that I'm putting on this stuff. So I'll flow it all. It'll all flow itself into place naturally. You'll see. Well, maybe not 100. Maybe now. There we go. Nice try. Nice try, you little shit. Whew. Now imagine if I had to look up the value of every single resistor and capacitor as I went. For those of you who ask, why do I use donor boards? Imagine if I was spent... You see how time-consuming this is already. Imagine if I had to look all this crap up one by one. I would have shot myself. No, I correct that. I'm going to shoot myself if after all this it still doesn't work. So see, it's all kind of janky soldering, but again, I want to minimize the amount of heat that I use on these components for the time being. So I'm using the bare minimum heat to take them off, put them on. just to get them placed, and then I'm going to do one final reflow at the end where I get them all to dance into place. So it's a little janky, but well, it's a lot janky, but we can. I've been working on the railroad all the live long day. Da 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 da. Okay, how many janky solder connections can we have on one board? To use Jess's vocabulary. That's a lot of janky looking shit. Ain't it? Now remember, I'm going to have to put a wire on that one because I don't trust that shitty little pad. And now I have to see what goes on this position over here, just to make sure that that's a no stuff. So what's this? C7114. C7114. Oh. Can't see. You look important. 470 picofarad, 50 volts, 10% ceramic 402. All right, where else can I find a 470 picofarad on the same board? 10%, 50 volts, ceramic 402. All right, let's just find C7238 and put that there. C7238. We're going to find this one. I'll just steal from this on the donor. So where is that? Let's get my donor board oriented properly. Okay, found one that goes there. And while we're putting that one last capacitor on, I'll use this as an opportunity to reflow this section into place. You're going to see this whole janky, fucked up looking set of joints is going to look so pretty, and everything's going to look pretty. And it's good because we value pretty. It has to look pretty. So watch all these other components here. Beautiful. Sexy. Are you going to replace every component, even the traces? Not going to replace everything. No. Just a lot of it. Are you selling Crest internationally to Turkey? The cleaners, I sell to every country, almost every country. The liquid, I can't because there's restrictions on shipping that, and I don't want to deal with it. So, yes, I will happily sell a Crest to Turkey. Now, however, if you ask me how long it takes to get to Turkey, I got no clue. So I will sell internationally, but just realize that customs in other countries, I shouldn't say that. Customs in every country kind of sucks. So don't ask me like how long it's going to take, because I have no fucking clue. And international mail in general just sucks. So I do sell them, and we do ship to other countries, but yeah. Yeah. It's hard to fit around here because that damn coil. I should put the micro soldering tip there. Yeah, I really should put the micro soldering tip there. But I'm stubborn. Ah! No! Go back! Alright, at least now I can cut it to the proper length it's supposed to be. Okay. Let's put that capacitor back on the board where it belongs. Got enough flux left from the left side to get a nice joint. There we go. Connected nice and securely. And let's take another look at the other side and just see if that matches this sexy side. Because that bottom section, that's a sexy beast right now. I wouldn't want anything on the top side to undo my effort from the bottom section. Now we're going to give it a cleaning, and after that, we're going to see if it has CPU V-core. Because this board deserves a little ultrasonic. This board deserves a little bit of ultrasonic love. Nice and loud. Huh?
Ever notice a lot of our donor boards look like they come from water damaged places?
I avoid the ones that have CPUs entirely.
Well, even the ones without CPUs look like they're water damaged.
No. No, those are beautiful donors. See you later.
Yeah.
Good night. Alright, so. So where are we here? Throw A1181 in trash. I agree. How is he doing this other than looking them up one by one? By using a donor board. Yeah, I'm the fuck going through it one by one. Now, Grandma, this book. What is this book? Haynes Manuals, Chevy Sprint, Metro. Have you tried the non-pump tube wire only fan-driven hot air? I haven't. I really do. I should buy another one of those Quicks. I filed my charge back on the one that never showed up. I wanted to check out the Quick 861DW. It's about time I get around to that. Oh, fuck. I forgot to replace C7771. I'm going to have to ultrasonic this all over again. God damn it. How did I forget to replace C7771 after all that? Mother... Oh, well. Those components look like a house of cards. You blow on them, they fly away. Is that what happened, though? Surface tension, baby. Surface tension. iPad Rehab says, Lewis, the kids got new chicks today, super cute. One of them is named Shart. Guess why? Were you fascinated? I was not fascinated. I'm more hungry than fascinated. I gotta go to the gym right after this, so I gotta get something to eat. You can't go to the gym on an empty stomach. It just destroys your soul. Okay, time to dry this off. Give it a few minutes in the cleaner. After the cleaner, I'll put it in the oven. And after that, imagine we have to actually start using our brain. Oh, that would suck. Lewis, thoughts on Carrie Holtzman? I remember he left some really nasty comments on Eli the Computer Guy's channel, which was like, and it was on one of these videos where he's like, building desktop PCs is just not something you should try to do as a business, and Carrie was shitting on Eli for that. I mean, building desktop PCs is like, I mean, how do I put this? If in 2017 you think building desktop PCs is a marketable skill that you should build a business around, you're going to be poor. Like, it's one thing if you started 20 or 30 years ago and have some business based around it, but as annoying as Eli may seem to some of you sometimes, when he says things like building desktop PCs is not something you should try to base your livelihood on, that's really, really sound advice. Like, you can buy desktop PCs for virtually nothing pre-built. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry knows how to build one. The people that, I mean, it's just like, you know, I mean, just don't lie to people is what I would say. Like, I mean, yeah. I like that Eli is one of the few people that was shit on the lie that it's so cool to learn how to build desktop PCs. It's like, you can, but does anybody really care? I mean, like, I know how to tie my shoes, you know, it's not special. I forget the video that he left that remark on, but I just remember, like, seeing Carrie just shitting on. Chris Long says, thoughts on beautiful Broadway girls? I haven't seen a show in a good, like, 2 or 3 weeks. I should go see something. I've seen Paramore like 7 times already, so I can't see that anymore. I have the lyrics memorized to it. It's the 4th Cirque du Soleil show that I've gone to, but it's the only Cirque du Soleil show that I've seen 7 times. I think I've seen Wicked like 5. I've seen... The new one in Wicked is not... I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but she's no Rachel Tucker. I want to see Rachel Tucker return a Wicked. Or if Paramore ends in a month, that would be a great time for Ruby Lewis to take over the role of Alphaba in Wicked. I don't know what it is. It's not that she can't sing. It's just the woman that's doing Wicked right now. I just don't feel it. Okay, we're waiting for the board to dry in the oven right now. So while it's waiting to dry, let's look up the person who's doing the new. Let's see. Yeah. Not original cast. Who's the current Wicked cast on Broadway? Who is playing the current Alphaba? Jennifer Denoy, is this it? Yeah, again, she's not bad. I'm not saying that she's bad by any means. It's just, like, I saw Wicked with Rachel Tucker, and then I saw Wicked with Rachel Denoy, and, like, it was a performance, but it wasn't like the, you know, it wasn't like the heart-lifting performance that I expected after seeing Rachel Tucker. Not the same. Wonder if Ruby Lewis would make a good Alphaba. Idina Menzel even made a decent Alphaba. She's never going to go back to Wicked, though. Pre-built systems are shit, though. Just look at HP and their desktops and blah, blah. Yeah, but who cares? I mean, really, who cares? There's thousands upon thousands of companies that will build you a desktop PC using pre-picked parts from Newegg that you want. And it's like, who cares? I mean, it's not special, you know? It's just not special. And they do it at these prices that you're never going to beat. Like, the assembly cost is something like, when you go to some of these custom PC websites, you pick out everything you want, and then you go to cart. It's like the price, it is like a $50 build fee. I mean, what, you're going to beat that? And then like hire employees and do marketing and do all that shit. It's just, it's an oversaturated marketplace. Like Al Schmidt, the recording engineer. Al Schmidt is amazing at what he does. Imagine if Al Schmidt were starting as a recording engineer in 2017. I'm just saying, I'm not saying he's not good, but it's like, it's one of those things where you're successful based on when you got into it. If you want to create a company that builds custom PCs in 2017, best of luck to you, but Ian, I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's going to be very successful. I'm waiting for a board to dry. This is boring. Once the room no longer smells like alcohol, I'll know that the board dried. This. What do you think of Glinda? Oh, Cara Lindsay is an absolute perfect at playing that, like, ditz that doesn't know she's a ditz. Just Cara Lindsay is an amazing actress as well. The one that played Glinda for the last 2 or 3 years of Wicked in New York. Let's see. All right, are we dry yet? Do we have the patience to wait? Almost there. Give it a few more minutes. All right. You ever finish that amazing book? No, I made it to page 97. I made it to page 97 and I wanted to cry. Do you fix PS3 yellow light of death? I don't. No. What? Why demean yourself to plugging parts together? Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing with it. It's like, I hear people say, if you learn how to build a PC, you'll know how the computer works. It's like, no, you won't. No, you won't. Like, I plugged the microphone into my camcorder, and then I plugged the camcorder into the computer. I don't know how a fucking camcorder works. I don't know what type of broadcast system that microphone wireless transmitter uses to transmit this to that. I have no idea. It's like, I hooked a wire from this to that. Plugging a wire, like, doing this does not mean that I know how my soldering station works. So, like, this over here, like, this is building a PC. Like, this is my soldering iron. I plugged it into the station. Then, I plug in the power in the back. When I'm done with that, my soldering iron works. Did I build it? I mean, I assembled it. Does that mean I know how this works? Does that mean that I know how this reads the temperature of the tip? No. Doesn't mean any of that. You know... That's the thing. It's just important to be honest with yourself. Like, don't convince yourself that what you're doing is super crazy if it's not. Like, yeah, even with what I do right here, like, this is janitorial work, not engineering. You know, this is like clean up in aisle 5, spill near U7200. You know, that's done. Okay, be honest about what you're doing. All right, so now we're gonna cool that board off before we turn it on. We'll see if we have V-core, and if we don't, we will save it for the next video. But yeah. Like, PC builders are mindless assemblers. That's all you're doing. Like, plug RAM in here, put screw in here. This, clean up in aisle 5. I mean, just, you know. Be honest with yourself, whatever you do. When are you going to do a reading of Go the Fuck to Sleep? I saw that, and it was kind of lame. Jessa sent me a link to Samuel Jackson reading that, and it just didn't do much for me. I think the appeal behind building a computer is this concept that you customize everything, and that there's so much research you can do. Like, I like Johnny Guru's site because they do great reviews of power supplies, but I swear when I read the forum on that site, it's almost as if people are looking for, like, they're not building a computer to use, they're just building a power button for their power supply so that they can, you know, I mean, it's like, I mean, I use computers to do work. I don't want to spend more time building the computer than I'm gonna. No worries. Then I'm gonna spend actually doing work with it that allows me to enjoy myself or to make money. It's kind of like you know, like having a hot rod. Like, a lot of, you know, a lot of people have a car they want to work on the weekends, and they test it and they try to make it quieter on the inside, or they try to make it faster and all sorts of shit like that. And all that stuff is cool. It's just, if all you use that car for is to drive to the grocery store, bring your kid to Little League, does it really matter? I mean, it's cool as a hobby, but... And by all means, hobbies are great, but... I don't... Eh. Where's my fan? Did I drop my fan? Here we go. Here's my fan. If you think Go the Fuck to Sleep is the stupidest book ever, I will cry. Jess is being mean to me because she's saying that I made the woman from the publishing company cry. And I don't think I did. Actually, I'll play you some of the call, and you guys tell me. I'm not going to play the whole thing because that would be mean. And then Jess is going to... let's see. Like,
From a technical standpoint, I understand why you want to do that. We could talk about the benefits of jailbreaking, how Apple's operating system limits you in specific ways for no good reason, and why jailbreaking is good. But if I write a guide on how to jailbreak your phone now, 1 month from now, if Apple releases an iOS update, that guide is worthless as
Okay.
like that. So you would be literally releasing a guide telling people how to destroy their phone, which is why that's like I don't mean this to be mean. That's just the stupidest idea I've ever heard. Because like that guide is going to.
and I don't think I was that mean. It's like they want to release a book called like the book that Apple doesn't want you to read, and they have this, hey, V-Core, baby, we're good. All I got to do is replace C7771, but that can wait for another day because I want to get food and get the fuck out of here. Like, it's like the book Apple doesn't want you to read, and you would expect that it's going to be cool. That it's not going to be a book about like how to jailbreak your phone aimed at the 50-plus demographic. I mean, like, really? I thought we were going to write a book on them fighting the right to repair. We were going to write a book on, like, all the fuck-ups, like the graphics chip failures that they covered up, the iPhone Touch IC failures they covered up, the C7771, the C9560, the Error 53, and then breaking people's phones and getting rid of their data and lying about security. I thought we were going to write, like, the coffee table book. Like, you know how Apple made the $300 coffee table book? I thought we were going to make the parody of that, like, but make it cool with quotes and with pictures and with lawsuit and like something interesting. And she's like, we want to write a book where where you jailbreak. You know, you're gonna show people how they can jailbreak the phone in a guide. Really? And I couldn't do it. I was nice to Vice, and I learned my lesson with Vice. Don't waste your time on this shit, because they will happily. They will happily drag you along. Smile, as they say, you should give them 10% of your money, not be allowed to do this, that, and the other. And you know, I really don't have respect for traditional media. I have no respect for traditional media in any way, shape, or form. Because they treat people like garbage. They think that they have you by the balls. They think it's still 1994. They think people don't have alternatives. And honestly, fuck them. People do have alternatives. They don't need to. And if I hear a stupid fucking idea from traditional media, I'm not going to jump up and down like so super happy and excited. Just because they contacted me and this is my big break. Like, I don't give a fuck, you know? It's 2017. Get the fuck out of here. I would say that if I played the whole phone call, that entire thing was like the definition of mansplaining. If mansplaining existed, that would be what it was. I don't think it is, but if it were a thing, that is what it was. But I don't think it's a thing. But if it existed. Alright, we might as well replace C7771 since I fucking forgot to. What videos or book would you suggest to learn the ropes? There are no. That is the wrong question. When you say that, here's what I hear when I hear that. Is I don't want to start until I know everything. That's what I hear. When you say, what book do I read? What I hear is, I'm not going to start until I know everything. And that is not going to get you anywhere. If you want to start fixing stuff, buy something that's broken, and then start figuring out that one problem. This is a lifelong journey, and you're never going to know everything you need to know to get started. You need to simply start. It's like when people say, what article should I read to figure out if I should use WordPress or Magento or Joomla or Drupal or whatever. It's like, just fucking start, and you'll figure out what you have to do from there. I know it sucks. I know, not the advice many people want to hear. But if you want to start, just get started. Half of the time, if you watch my videos, the one thing I try to get across in these videos more than anything else is that 99% of the time, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. Seriously. I mean, the whole reason that I have the self-deprecating commentary and the reason I don't edit anything out, even the colossal fuck-ups, is because I want to get across to you that 50%, 90-something% of the time, I have no clue what I'm doing, in the hopes that it will encourage you to just get started. But yeah, that whole, like, what book do I read, what article do I do, what class do I take, just fucking start. And you will, and start asking yourself questions. So I have an Xbox and it doesn't work. What does it do? It doesn't turn on. What could cause something to not turn on? Maybe no power. Or I have an Xbox that doesn't turn on. What does it do? I get lights and shit in the front. So then Google, Xbox has lights and shit in the front. And like, that's the thing. You just start. That's the only way to do any of this, is you just got to get started. You have to be a self-starter. You have to be somebody who's willing to analyze. Because when you say, I want to read a book or a video, the thing that it tells me, and I know this is a douchey thing to say, is I don't want to analyze, I want the book to tell me the answer. And that's going to keep you behind everybody else. So it's good to have resources that will give you pointers, but you have to have that willingness to start even when you know absolutely nothing. And once you have that, you're free. You're set for life. You're going to always be able to figure it out. But don't... Yeah, but... That's what I would say. And if you're looking for videos, hint, hint, hint. You may just find a channel that has a daily repair video and 200 pre-recorded videos where everything is explained, edited, short and sweet. By edited, I mean, I would edit out the useless conversation or me waiting for the boards to dry and stuff like that, not the good stuff. But you may just find a channel that has all this stuff there. Might even be this one. Might even be this one. Alright. Now I'm going to put the proper capacitor there, which is going to require a little bit of a wee bit of a jumper. I think iPad Rehab would agree with me on what I just said. Uraz says, Lewis, you are a ruthless savage. That was not mean. Come on. Let me see if I can go back to the beginning of the call.
Do you want it to be
higher than that? They have iPhones and they're not necessarily going on blogs.
all the bugs and junk and like that? I mean, again, I don't know if I would definitely be the person to write the rest. I could write a very, very interesting book on how Apple has waged a war against independent repair and how they've kept you from fixing your own phone. And I could go over how to fix your own phone in detail. But the whole, again, how to jailbreak your phone and tips, honestly, if you're I'm not saying everybody above 40 is like this, but if you are in the demographic of people that don't want to go on a forum and read through and troubleshoot when something doesn't work on your phone, you just shouldn't be doing that. Because they're going to destroy their phone, they're going to throw the book in the garbage and get, and just be pissed off and leave a 1-star review of it. Like I say this is somebody who's running a retail store for 7 years.
This is one of the things writing a book on
Let's see.
And it's not something to people with brick phones and 1-star Amazon reviews for a book that sold them that's a good
specifically. And that is something that we're probably going to move forward with. You're not interested, that's 100% fine.
I respect that that's what you want to do. It's just that's gonna I just think it's a terrible idea, and it's not something I'd want to be a part of. Like for everything else, how to fix, but teaching people over 40 that don't want to do the research to figure out how to jailbreak a phone,
She was the one that brought up Age, by the way.
That's going to end up with thousands of people with bricked phones and 1-star Amazon reviews for a book that told them how to brick their phone.
Of course. Well, we're also big.
And the only reason I bring up Age is somewhere earlier in the call, she said it was mainly for the older demographic that didn't want to look stuff up on the internet. Which, I mean, again, that's kind of where, you've kind of made the argument on Age yourself. Why are you assuming old people don't want to look shit up on the internet? Granted, even if, why are you assuming everybody's Jessa? That's not right. Why are you assuming everybody is somebody who can't install WooCommerce? No, I'm kidding. Jessa can install WooCommerce. Jessa's a fucking e-commerce expert. Jessa has already put Jason and my supply company out of business before I even started. So for the next few weeks, you're going to see them redoing the website to include MacBook parts by the board. So I link all the shit that you need, the PP3V42 regulators, clock chips, LED drivers. I'm going to have resistor kits for PP3V42, resistor kits for the ISL 6259 circuitry, the ISL 6. I'm going to have all that shit there. But the thing is, I think that Jess is going to put me out of business before that happens, though. Jess is probably going to get me out of business before that happens, though. Because she's planning to do it. So it's kind of like a race right now. Jess is going to start. Jason's already got his micro soldering supply. Mark's going to be in the mix soon. Ooh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be vicious, but fun. Okay, make sure that wire is not shorting to something, because I see it, and you got to go. If you are, There we go. Out the way. Move, bitch! Get out the way! I don't mean this to be mean. I think this is the stupidest idea I've ever seen. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, and people are gonna say that's mean. But people are never gonna contact you if you do that. And it's like, yeah, but I mean, who wants to get solicited by this crap anyway? Like, my dad had a book deal, and they were supposed to promote his book. He sold 17 copies, and they took 90%. 90% This is the thing with traditional media. He wrote an amazing book, very well written. If it wasn't about baseball, I would have read past 65 pages of it. And he's a really good writer. They say, oh yeah, we're gonna promote it. You know what they just promoted? They put it on Amazon. They put it on fucking Amazon. Like, this is the... traditional media just sucks. Like, they deserve to get called out on this type of bullshit. They really do. I mean, if you call me with an idea, and you're calling me at work with the idea, and you want to waste my time with it, it better be a good idea. Because I know that you're going to get to the point where you want to offer me 10% of the profits of the book, at which point, again, suck my dick. But I know that that's what's coming next. Make sure I'm getting 1.05 volts there. So if the idea sucks, now how the hell are we even going to get to the payment part if the idea that you're giving me for the book is something that's just completely dumb? It was funny. I thought that she was going to call Jessa next. Norb Delta says, politically correct bedtime stories read on stream, €3. Thank you. I want to write my own book. I want to do my own Apple coffee table book with all the flaws and everything. I think that would be very well. 1.105 volts. We've got V-Core. I can ultrasonic that flux off now. And this is good to go, baby. Look at how pretty this looks, by the way. Look at how pretty my little fixed board looks. Look at that. Okay, maybe we can take that excess of solder off this one point over here. Play the next minute where you tell her this is a horrible idea. She says, I'm going to stop you right there so she can cry. When was that, Jessa? Was that at 12 minutes or after 11? Let's see. Jessa, tell me the timestamp of it and I happily will. Let's see. Where is that?
Fucked up their phones. That is going to be a nightmare. Like that is.
Obviously, but I'm going to stop you right now because
here
if you
like, and people with bullet points. So you went over every single thing to be mean to you. It just sounds like complete trash. You're going to see the book you can explain over time.
Here we go.
Of Apple in that sense. I mean,
how about this? Suppose this is a better one. You know how Apple just released a $300 book going over every single one of their products over time, and they're selling hundreds of thousands of these books. It's a book. It's a coffee table book of their product. What if you made a book just like that, except for each year you explained how that product screwed over the end user with bullet points? So you went over every single thing that they did that they could have done differently. Like the iPhone 4, you're holding it wrong when you get no reception, and then you go over the fix that they did. So how about because honestly, the book that you're describing, it just sounds. I don't mean this to be mean to you. It just sounds like complete trash. You're gonna be. You're telling me it just sounds. I don't mean this to be mean to you. It just sounds like complete trash. You're gonna be. The book that you're describing, it just sounds. I don't mean this to be mean to you. It just sounds like complete trash. You're gonna be. You're telling me to write a book to tell people how to brick their phones. I don't care what sales guy thinks that's a good idea. They're not the ones that are gonna be getting phone calls from people that fucked up their phones. That is gonna be a nightmare. Like that is.
Mansplaining. I don't know. If it was a dude, I probably would have been meaner. Because I had Jess's voice in the back of my head saying, you're going to make her cry, you're going to make her cry. But if it was a guy, I probably would have just I would have thrown in laughter. It probably would have been meaner if it was a guy. I would have had a lot of laughter thrown in there. Like, seriously? Oh, man. You don't have to be mean about your refusal. No, again, mean would have been laughing. Mean would have been laughing. Yeah, Vice definitely changed the way I look at that stuff. Like, I felt, you don't understand, the woman came into the office, I could see that she was a little bit cold. I was a regular temperature. I got up from around the desk, I turned off the AC. It's like, I was so nice to these people. I got them food, and it's like, no, get the fuck out of here. Get the And that's the thing. Why do you think that there are so many terrible ideas in the world, and the way that you keep them from becoming reality is somebody out there said, no, that is a stupid thing to do. That is a stupid fucking thing to do. We live in a world now where people's bad choices and bad ideas wind up getting subsidized, and that shit has to end. Like that whole concept of like all of college being free and just getting rid of all student loan debt. No. If you got an $80,000 degree in like 12th century English literature, you know what? Feel the burn of that student debt. If you got a gender studies degree and you spent $100,000 getting a gender studies degree, feel the burn. Feel the burn. There needs to be a pain point. There needs to be a... Like there's this book called Start With No by Jim Camp, and one of the things he talks about a lot is the pain point in negotiating. And I think that there needs to be a pain point at the end of a stupid idea to discourage people from stupid ideas. And you don't have to be incredibly mean, but you should definitely, you don't have to like go out of your way to be vicious, but you should definitely point out the honesty and when you think something's a really dumb idea so that people don't try to do it and people don't try to repeat it. Too many bad ideas come about because of politeness. Like how many times have you heard somebody say, yeah, that sounds like a decent thing to do. That sounds like a decent thing to do. And then they do it. Like this happened with business. Everybody said in 2007, 2008, you should start, yeah, it sounds like a great idea. You should start a business repairing recording studio. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And there was only one person that sat me down and said, this is a stupid fucking thing to do. All these studios, see Bennett, see Clinton, see these places that can barely afford to pay their Con Ed bill? Do you think they're going to pay you to fix anything? No. Anything that doesn't work at these studios, they're going to put toothpicks in. And then this one guy, he shows me a Pultec equalizer that has like 90 capacitors taken out of a fucking ADAT machine in parallel in series, right behind the caps that say NFG for the equalizer, because they couldn't afford to buy the proper caps for the equalizer. So they took the DAT machines and cannibalized them to fix the fucking Pultec. And he's like, this is the business you want to get in? This is a terrible fucking idea. Everybody else was just being polite. Only one person told me the truth. And if I had listened to that, I would have saved 6 months of my life in pursuing something that I made $75 an hour doing for like, 3 or 10 sessions? Yeah, good luck living off of that. You gotta shit on the crappy ideas. And you don't have to be really mean about it, but you should be honest. Let's see what we got. If I sent you C7771 track extenders, would you use them? I would check it out. I may wind up still using a wire, but I would check it out. The real Swarvy says she sounds as clueless as the woman from the Right to Repair. Or the magtrometer. Magtrometer that blows up. And if you want a title, a book, The Truth That Apple Doesn't Want You to Know, or What Apple Doesn't Want You to Know About X, it had better be something good. Like, it had better be some secret, some kind of, something that's going to really get the juices flowing. Not a fucking jailbreak a phone. Come on. What's your dad's book? I think Another Time, Another Place by Stu Rossman. It's on Amazon. Another Time, Another Place. Baseball Reflections. Is that it? Yes. Thank God I remembered the name of it, because if he's watching this, that would be embarrassing if I forgot the name of his own book. Except for the missing resistor you couldn't find in a donor. No, that was a capacitor and we found it. Please no more, the audio is terrible. It's a phone call. What do you want? It's a phone call. It's a phone call. This is sexist. You have to be mean regardless of gender. And Jessa got to me. I could hear her in the back of my head saying, "You're making her cry. You're making her cry." This is all Jessa's fault. And that's the first thing she said. There's a 2-page chat log in GChat right now saying, "You totally made her cry." Don't say that. Don't guilt me. Don't guilt me. Rob Van Pelt says, "Sometimes the best thing someone can hear is it's the stupidest idea I've ever heard." Outseeker says, "Honest feedback is invaluable, even if you can't see the value in it at the time." Governmental policy is like that, says Norb Delta. "It's all about intentions and not about results. It may all fail, but at least you had good intentions. Always disperses the failures." Yeah. Pain point. You mean everybody gets a shock collar and gets shocked when they say something stupid? I wouldn't mind that. What do you think? Shock collar. I like that. Yeah, so it looks like we solved Jessa says that was mansplaining. That is so not mansplaining. Why is the air filter still? You buzz. See you later.
See ya.
Okay, time. It's just business. You have to be mean and make money and not waste time. Yeah, again, like you heard there's some part in that phone call where it's like, "Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure about that, but I can arrange a meeting with so and so." It's like, no, absolutely fucking not. No way in hell. I'm not going to another meeting. I remember going to the Vice meeting and it's like, "So, how much do you want to pay me for this?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, it's the lawyers discuss that. You know, like all the boring people. They're not here right now." I'm like, "Where are these boring people? Because they're not that boring to me. So what am I going to get paid for this? So what kind of contract you want me to sign?" Because that's kind of why I came here. I went to meetings. I called them for an hour. It's like, no, fuck all that shit. Because here's the way they think. The more you get invested, the further in you're invested, the more likely you are to say yes and not say no because you've invested. The same thing happened when I was buying that suit. So I was buying I had to buy some dress clothes to present in front of the in Nebraska State Legislature. I thought I should look professional. The grand irony here is that the senator that trolled us the most is a senator that hated people who look professional, who wore nothing but jeans and a fucking t-shirt, Senator Chambers. So needless to say, that was worthless. But I was at Macy's, and this person is walking me through clothes to buy, and I really thought like worst fucking case scenario for pants, shirt, and a jacket. I really thought like worst case that she's gonna pick out for me was going to cost something like $500, like 4 or 5, worst case scenario. Because I went there in a Hanes white t-shirt and gym pants and fucked up sneakers. So I look like shit. I look like I was broke. And I go there and she picks me out something like $1,165. I forget if it's $1,165 or $1,265 worth of crap. Probably $1,265. $1,265 for a shirt, a jacket, and fucking pants. And no, I can't fly. They're not made of gold. They're just regular fucking clothes. And I left. I just left. And Jessa said, well, she thought that nobody in their right mind is going to think after 45 minutes of shopping and picking shit out that they're just going to get up and leave. Well, what other option is there? It's like, you're trying to rape me. That is just rape. I mean, $1,200 fucking dollars for one set of clothes. Are you nuts? So I left. It's like, it doesn't, I mean, they think that because you spent all the time and because they've been joking and laughing and flattering you and getting to know you, that it's going to be harder for you to say no. No. And now I learned my lesson. I'm not even giving them the chance. I'm not even giving them the chance to do all that shit. Like, I want to know up front, is this what you want to do? Is this stupid waste of time what you want me to be involved in? Okay. Now I know. Go away. Now, if you would like this better idea that I have, my Apple book, I really want to release this now because this would sell. Like, I could see selling 100,000 copies of this fucking book. I could sell that without their help. Like, if you want to be a part of something that's a good idea, I'll work with you. But I just want to be certain, if you still want to work on this dumbass idea, then I don't want no part of it. I work in support, and I'm afraid of Lewis calling us and roasting me on his stream. No. They called us. Biela says, make salespeople cry again. iPad Rehab says, I want to see you on the grant review panel. Yeah, I think if you paid for a gender studies degree, you paid for that like 12th century English literature degree, I hope you enjoy it, but you enjoy that debt. Apple would slap you with a defamation lawsuit and set 1,000 lawyers loose on you, even if you only spoke the truth. Who cares? Really, how is it defamation if it's true? It can't be defamation if it's true. If I simply say, this is 1,000 users on Apple's own forum saying they have bad reception on the iPhone 4. This is Apple saying you're holding it wrong. This is Apple then releasing a bumper because the phone is, because they, in my opinion, they perceived the phone as having an inferior antenna. That's not defamation or libel. That's truth. You just have to be careful in how you phrase it, which is why I'd hire a lawyer to go through my description before releasing the book. But that would be a really cool book. I think that would be a great book. I just got to make the time to make it. Gustavo Ferlizzi, €3. Write a book on fixing microwave magtrometers. Thank you. Will do. There's cancer in this chat. Blah. Why are people sending him money? Why are you pointing it out? As if... Let's see. Is Dave's multimeter a rebrand? It says Bryman BM235 on it, so I'm guessing that Bryman made it, but I don't know completely. Can somebody bring me up to speed on what happened with Vice? Someone answered. Vice wanted Lewis to do a TV series and then take profits from his channel, business, Amazon, etc., and make him buy new tools for the show. Yeah. To which I said, fuck you. Yeah, I went downstairs to H&M and I spent like, I think it was like $120 altogether. And I got a lot of stuff outside of the suit that I needed too. You need a new suit. Why not sew it yourself? Why not sew it yourself? If you say, in my opinion, they can't do shit, yeah, I think that would be a nice book. How dare you not want to pay for some moron's bad college decision? You must be against education. I like that. I like you, Raz. You should be a mod. This is... Yeah, that's the thing. Anytime somebody tells you that something is free, what they're doing is they're testing whether or not you're an idiot. Like it's like they want to see if how low is your IQ. Anytime you hear a politician say we're making this free, it's a test. Are you dumb? Because there is no such thing as free. There is no such thing as free unless unless the government has the power to pull education out of its asshole and then hand it to you, then it's not free. And since they can't do that, they're probably going to tax you or your children to pay for it. Yeah. Do you want your taxes to go towards paying the student loan debt of some gender studies major? No. No. You wanted to get a degree in 12th century English literature. Now it's your job to figure out how to monetize that. Have fun. Not my problem. All right. Why is there a fan? Is it really that hot? Yes. All right. let's get out of here. Time to go. I hope my gym closes at 10 tonight, not 9. Let's see. Does it close at 9? If it does, then I'm going to cry even harder than that person from the publishing office. Please tell me they don't close at 9. Ooh, open till 10. Yes. Just enough time. Not enough time to get food, so this is going to be a shitty workout, but oh well. All right, so as always, I hope you learned something. If you want to support people that are not supporting CTIA, click below, and if I can convince Troy and other people that it's worth advertising through the repair community rather than through the cucks at CTIA, then maybe we can get more people to back out of CTIA, which means less lobbying money that CTIA has to send lobbyists to these legislative hearings to fight against the Right to Repair bill. Look below. RepairShopr is the CRM system that we're using. Thank you to all who watched. Thank you to all who donated. Thank you to all who have used this stuff to fix other motherboards. And thank you above all to every single one of you that sent Jessa a cane, a walker, or a wheelchair. You have my undying gratitude. That's it for today, and I'll see you in the next stream.